So afternoon all, as everyone starts to filter in. Welcome to our eWorks webinar today. We're going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to join us. But while we're doing that, we want to start off with two very quick questions. So if you've got your phone handy, if you just want to scan the QR code, otherwise we'll put the link in the chat as well. And we'll just probably give you guys about a minute to settle in. All right, awesome. Thanks to those who've responded so far. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag here, which is it's good that there's a good population that have had excellent and good training. And let's see what your feedback is in terms of what makes it engaging. So instructional design, yep, real person, definitely. Learning principles, requirements, adult learning, interactivity. Awesome. So hopefully we're able to cover a few of those in today's session. But I'll hand it over to Shuram to get us started today.
Thanks, Chris. So today's webinar is about optimizing your LMS for effective compliance training. So before we dive into the webinar, we'll just do a quick intro about us. So I'm Sriram, the LMS customer support, and I have nearly 10 years of experience supporting various IT applications. And alongside me is Chris, lead LMS customer support, who has extensive experience from education industry as an ESL teacher and as well as an LMS manager. And he has expertise in platforms like Canvas and Moodle. So we work together along with the developers and support our clients to implement their LMS based on any specific needs that they may have.
Thanks, Shuram. So just before we get started, just wanted to highlight that this webinar is about setting up your learning management system to successfully deliver compliance training. For any questions relating to the actual creation of the content, I'd recommend obviously review your relevant government legislation or seek your own legal advice.
Here is a quick overview of what we will explore today. So first we'll get started with what are all the benefits of using an LMS for compliance purpose. And then we'll go and share some tips and tricks for creating some effective training content. Later we'll explore how to set up your eWorks LMS for training. And at last we'll end with a sneak peek of our new product, eWorks Compliance Compass. So we'll dive deeper into each section as we go, and feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we'll address them at the end of the webinar. Let's get started. So starting with the first point, the benefits. There are like 4 major benefits that you can get out of LMS. So first one is the automation. With automation, you can streamline the process of users to get immediate access. You don't have to wait for someone to create the user logins. You can just set up some processes so that the users can immediately begin their training. And we can also set up some reminders so that in case they don't complete the course on time, just a friendly nudge to ensure that they complete within the stipulated time. So moving on to the next point, the accessibility. So staff should be able to access the platform anytime from any device. So ensuring that LMS has that capability is critical. And it should also be designed to be fully accessible, like offering some features like dyslexia-friendly fonts or someone with color blindness adjustments, and also some translations options. So we will go into detail later.
Jumping on to number 3, so ease of update. So an LMS will allow the organization to quickly change the content in situations where the legislation changes or maybe the updates to the organization policies. These changes can be quickly deployed and essentially made immediately available to all the users on your platform. Number 4, reporting and analytics. So definitely something important to gauge user progress, easily monitor their completions to ensure they're meeting their obligations in the organization. So let's have a look at 2 example reports that we can pull from our LMS. So in this first example, we can see who's completed their certification by referring to the fourth column. We can see when their training will expire. And in this example, we've got the training to expire after 12 months. So for student 1, their certification is currently valid. For student 2, that one has expired. If we look at student 1, they've got their certification will go to the 30th of September 2025. Looking at a second example here, this is another report that we can generate. So you can see that we've got their date of their completion and also the date of their expiry. So referring back to the 12 months, they completed 17th of September and it will expire at the end of September 2025.
These are some of the benefits of using LMS. And let's move on to the next section. We will provide some tips on creating content for training. So these are some of the key suggestions to enhance the training programs, and we will look into them in detail as we go.
Thanks, Shreyas. So for the first one, so training modules and structure. So if we look at that in a little bit more detail, we would consider this an important consideration to keep users engaged. A good structure would be to start with in-depth training and then potentially have this followed by refresher training annually. The refresher training can be used to consolidate their learning, fill in any gaps in the knowledge that they've forgotten over the last 12 months. If they're generally doing the same content over and over, they can get disengaged from that too. Second point to bring up is thinking about the length of each training module. Bite-sized chunks tend to work well to allow users to finish a module in one sitting. Then they can always come back and complete the next one when time permits. If it's too long, they might get bored or disengage and not want to continue on with the rest of the content.
And to add a bit of engaging factors, so we always recommend a mix of question types, or not just to use multiple choice, but to also use drag and drop and matching and other sorts. So also if you have any video that they need to watch instead of just passively watching it, we can add a bit of interactive learning experience using HYP tool, and always set up the restrictions so that it ensures that they complete the course and they know what are all the necessary requirements without skipping any sections. So let's now quickly have a look with HYP. You can make videos more interactive by embedding questions directly into the video. So as the video plays, it will pause for the learner to answer a question.
Hi mate, you all right? Good day?
You can see that only when they give the correct answer, it'll just move to the next section. So this method lets the learner participate actively and keeps them engaged. Now we'll go on to a next example with HYP. On this one, I think there are a lot of hazards in these pictures. We just added some click and check, like we'll give you 10 seconds and let's see how much hazards you can identify. Some examples that you might find are water spillage, rubbish around the workplace, a pedestrian not using the footpath, and a forklift driver with load that's too high. These are just some of the examples. There are almost close to 20 hazards in this example. So this is one way to add some interactivity component.
Thinking about the next tip, stories and scenarios. We think this is a great way to engage your learners and help them to put their learning into relevant perspective. So let's have a look at a bit of an example here. So in this example, we can see a scenario where Avery has taken a selfie with a colleague and he's posted it on Facebook. So what does everyone think? Do you reckon Avery did the right thing by posting the selfie without Joe's permission? Let us know in the chat. So we've got a no. Consensus seems to be no, which is correct. So in this case, the answer is no. Basically, they should be following social media rules at work, and obviously should have asked for permission before he posted it up on Facebook or any other terms of social media.
And when it comes to accessibility, there are numerous accessibility tools on the market. So always refer to your WCA guidelines as your benchmark and think about the capabilities that the tool should offer. So here are some of our favorites: the UseAway, ResetMe, Brickfield, and Anthology Ally. So we'll just have a quick look at one of the tools and let's explore what that tool offers and what are all the various accessibility features. We'll start by looking at some of the popular options, including some dyslexia-friendly font styles. They also have a legible font. And as you can see, there are other options like contrast and bigger text. We'll just quickly jump on to a translation option and we'll switch to Italian and see how the page translates everything. So as you can see, all the menu options are currently in Italian, but you can notice that the image is still using the same content. That is obviously not translated. Let's quickly put it back to English. And there are also screen reader options.
UserWay screen reader enabled. Reading pace, normal, 1 of 3.
So this way, the user can even listen to this course material like an audio.
Accessibility options. Section landmark. Enter button.
So as soon as they enter the course, it will start reading the content.
Welcome to the eWorks Conflict Management Example course. Header. Picture. In this course,
These are some of the examples what this tool can do. So always ensure that you have the right accessibility tool. That's our key recommendation as well.
Next one is asking for feedback. So a good course, whether it's for compliance training or learning, should always be a work in progress and constantly tweaked for improvement. Asking users for direct feedback will help highlight what's working, what isn't working, and can also provide direction on what can be changed to continually improve that overall experience for your users on the platform.
And whenever the learners hear about compliance training, it's always easy to fall into the trap of assuming it's just more work. So let's flip the script by making it fun and engaging. And we can ensure that the learners not only understand the material, but also remembers it after the training.
So we're going to examine how your eWorks LMS can be set up for compliance training using the Programs and Certifications plugin. We're mindful of everyone's time, so we'll show you a very quick setup, but we'll share a link to our eWorks resource article, which will provide a bit more in-depth instructions as you go through. Before we start, we'll be using 2 plugins for this purpose, Programs and Certifications. You may need to reach out to the support team to have these installed on your site if you don't see them. The first plugin, the Programs, this will allow you to combine several courses into a set for users to complete. So as an example, you might have 2 or 3 courses that you want your users to complete, like first aid, bullying and harassment. The Programs plugin will bundle those courses together, and then the users will be marked as complete once all of those courses have been completed. The second one, the Certification plugin, resets the user's progress in the program that you created before after a defined period of time. This allows them to recomplete it. So as an example, if we set it up for 12 months time, after that 12 months period, their progress in the course is reset and the users will be able to go in and complete all the requirements like they would as a new user. So let's do a quick dive into the setup. So you can find the plugin under Site Administration and Program Management. And we're going to click on the Add Program. And you can set up your program details here. And in the Content tab is where you can select the courses you want to be included in the program. So in here, I'm going to select 2 courses. On the Allocations tab, we're going to turn certifications on. And this will allow us to set a date for users to start accessing the program. And that's the allocations will allow you to set the date. The certifications will allow us to run to the next part. So basically, this is the bare minimum that you need for programs. There's a few other settings in there that you can go through and turn on and turn off. And we've gone through that in our instruction article, which we'll share with you. But essentially, you want the program set up with the courses, and then we're going to move on to the certifications. So same thing, site admin, certification, certification management. You're going to add a certification. And similar setup to programs here. And then the period settings is the most important part. So you click on the certification cog just in that page. And over here, you'll be able to select the program that you've just created. We're going to change the certification program reset to a full course purge, which basically means we'll just reset that course for the users once they've completed it. And then we're also going to select the expiry time frame. So in this example, we're going to set the program to expire after 12 months and ask for recertification 1 month before it's due. So once that's done, you'll see the option for recertification. Clicking on this will open a new section here, and this is where you set up the recertification process. So once they've done it a first time, what will happen for second, third, and fourth, and so on. Basically from here, you'll be able to select the program. So if you're using the same course, you just select it here. If you're going to use a refresher, that's where you can change the option in this drop-down box. And you can set up the same processes here that we did previously. And then at the bottom, you'll see there's a certificate cog there. So this is where you can set up a certificate that will be awarded to the user on their completion. And the last part, once we go, is the assignment settings. So basically, this is how users are enrolled in the program. So manual assignment will allow you to add users into the program, either individually or using a CSV. Or you can also set up self-assignment so users can then self-enroll themselves into the course. There's also cohorts and there's requests with approval too. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the overall setup. So we did go through it in a very, very quick speed, but you'll be able to get the full instructions and some longer videos by going to our support article on here. So you can scan the QR code, and I will put the article in the chat as well. And it just provides a little bit more instructions on each step and what each variable or features you can change in there depending on your requirements. So yeah, hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of a quick overview on how you can set up programs and certifications in your LMS. Let's have a look at what it looks like from a user perspective. So from a user, you would click on your profile, you would click on the program catalog, you would see the options there that are available to the users. And then they'll see the course and the program and the courses involved in the program. So in this case, we've got 5 courses that they're going to complete. So we'll just have a look at it again. So we've got the eWorks compliance training and the 5 courses. They would click on each course, complete them as they need to, and work through it until they've completed all 5, and that would tick off the program. Once they have completed it, they'll get a notification. And this can be customized, but essentially they'll get an email to say their certification is valid from the date of their completion, when it's going to expire. So in this case, we've got the year, and also when the recertification will open. And you can also set up a reminder to remind them just before it's going to expire.
So we have explored what are all the benefits of using LMS compliance, tips for creating the content, and how to set up your eWorks LMS for training. Now let's move on to the final section. We're quite excited to share this and show a quick sneak peek of a new product, eWorks Compliance Compass.
I think there's some notes here that's a bit hard to see the video. Just bear with me and I'll give you a link so you can also view it offline. That might be a little bit clearer for you to see. Bear with me 2 seconds. Grab this one. Okay. Let's share. All right, apologies for that. This is the online link, so you'll be able to just click on that link to watch the video, and hopefully that's a little bit more clearer for you. Apologies that didn't come through on the video. We're really excited to show you the Compliance Compass product today. It'll be available as a complete LMS solution for your compliance training need that is updated as legislation changes. So basically hassle-free, set and forget, let your users go in, complete it on a yearly basis and not have to worry about the content. We'll also be able to offer the resources and the modules as off-the-shelf compliance training if you already have an LMS set up as well. So if that's something that's of interest to you, I'll put down our sales team details. Feel free to reach out to them if you want some more information. And they can also keep you up to date for our launch date, which we're hoping will be very, very soon.
Any questions?
So I think there was one question about the visibility of the instructions. So give me 1 second, and that should be fixed in, I'll just change the visibility to everyone. So you should be able to access that now. And you've got the video, yeah. So if it's any questions, feel free to Put them in the chat. The recording will also be available, yes. You'll be able to access that via our website. Probably give it a couple of days, but it'll be available on our website under webinars. And just while we're waiting for questions, we'll also put in the chat just a survey link to get some feedback of the webinar today. Always happy to hear positive or improvements. So feel free to share your thoughts on the webinar today. We'll put that in the chat for you. Okay, I think no questions that we can see. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you found it useful and practical. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions after. Have a look at the Vimeo video link that we've shared and access the article as well. Yeah, and reach out if we can provide any assistance, or reach out to our sales team if you're interested in the Compliance Compass as well. Have a great afternoon.